Continues to be a controversial topic among many school districts. They're asking what is and what isn't appropriate for students to read. News 13's Samir Nessi looks into how two Asheville bookstores are making their voices heard in this battle.
As school board members and lawmakers challenge books across the country, an Asheville bookstore is making their own stance on what they call a form of censorship.
They have explanations as to why and where the books have been removed.
As books like All Boys Aren't Blue, To Kill a Mockingbird, and Mouse are being pulled from school districts across the state, the team over at Malaprop's bookstore in Asheville has taken a stance to highlight such titles.
So next to me is our banned book section. It's a collection of books that have been banned or challenged in various school systems and libraries over the years.
For the last decade, the books range in topics from The Bell Jar, Lord of the Flies, Animal Farm, and so many more.
It's disconcerting to see that happening. It's good to see people made aware of it and see the support people have for books that are being banned.
Inside the books, these pink shelf toppers detailing where, when, and why these books have been banned.
We want them to see that how easily things like art can be taken away. And it's important to keep those things in mind.
Professor of English at Western Carolina University, Michael Boatwright, weighing in on the conversation.
If we want students to learn about the reality outside of schools and the lives that they will live once they become adults and participants in their communities and societies, that learning needs to happen in safe learning environments like the high school English classroom, to where we can talk about sensitive issues.
Boatwright calling the recent movement of banning seemingly controversial titles exceedingly dangerous.
Literature is one of our main tools for teaching empathy to students. So why not start understanding that shared humanity at the high school level?
Locally, Haywood County high school leaders made changes to their English classes by removing the book Dear Martin, which tells the story of a black high school student who symbolically writes to Dr. Martin Luther King after being racially profiled.
A lack of access to diverse literature kind of stunts our ability to develop as individuals and denies us the opportunity of exposure to different worldviews and experiences.
For Liberty, the recent move in Haywood County has an impact on the alumni. The West Asheville-based bookstore is now taking part in a GoFundMe to provide additional copies of books just like Dear Martin for the district's libraries.
I think we want to make sure that people have access to this book, and the limitations of the funding within the public school system are significant, and that's where bookstores and concerned community members can step in and support.
Souther says in light of the recent banning of Mouse, the store has actually noticed an increase in sales, explaining there continues to be a desire for the controversial read.
This newly formed group isn't wasting time taking action. They want to hold those liable accountable for failing to keep their grandchildren alive. A candle lit in honor of Kyler Prisnell on the 6-year anniversary of his death. The 17-month-old autopsy revealing blunt force trauma as the cause. His paternal grandfather, Tony Coleman, later charged in the case. Coleman sentenced to prison. He died a year later. Jane Webb, Kyler's maternal grandmother, still in mourning.
We've never really gotten answers.
10-month-old Chloe Evans, another victim of abuse. She too dying at the hands of a family member. Her mother, Channing Evans, now serving 7 years for involuntary manslaughter. Evans' boyfriend, Dylan Green, awaiting trial. The DA seeking the death penalty.
It was my second granddaughter to die in the same home.
Chloe's paternal grandmother, Kimberly Freeman, also grieving the loss of what would have been Chloe's older sister, Aurora, 2 years earlier.
She already had 2 prior kids that was removed from the house from cigarette burns, abuse, and they still left my 2 granddaughters in that house.
The grandmothers say all 3 children failed by the Haywood County Sheriff's Office and the Department of Social Services. Channeling heartbreak into action, Webb and Freeman, along with Ellen Pitt, who's experienced similar heartache, coming together to form the WNC Grandparents Coalition. Backed by State Senator Chuck Edwards and State Representative Mike Clampett, they aim to change legislation so others won't suffer the same fate.
We got a broken system when it comes to our children, and it's not just Haywood County.
According to a statement from Edwards, Senate Bill 693, which he co-authored, aims to expedite child permanency. The bill would require DSS to quickly place at-risk children in safe homes, as well as prevent the agency from avoiding accountability by hiding behind confidentiality statutes.
Senator Edwards and I have a close enough working relationship that I'm sure that I can introduce something from the House side to parallel what he's doing on his side, and that would give more credibility and stature and standing to get that kind of bill passed.
It's too late for their grandchildren, but it could help someone else's.
We can't bring them back, but if we can change one thing, one statute, one law that could save another child, you know, it's worth it. It's worth it just to keep fighting.
Right now, per DSS guidelines, using drugs in the presence of a child does not meet their definition for neglect, and a drug house does not show that the child's welfare is at a substantial risk of harm. This is the kind of statute the WNC Grandparents Coalition tell me they're efforting to change.
Transylvania County's only day facility for older adults has closed its doors, leaving many in a tough situation. News 13's Hannah McKenzie found out why it closed and what option those in need of care have.
The short answer, options for adult day facilities are extremely limited in Western North Carolina. At least 3 different families reached out to us, letting us know how much of a negative impact this is having on their lives. Serving the community for more than 3 decades, the Mountain Care Adult Day Facility in Transylvania County now closed for good.
It really upset me.
Chris Jones, diagnosed with dementia, was a client there.
They call it the long goodbye, but that just is a romantic phrase, I think. It's not like that. It's difficult. And you need help along the way. And Mountain Care Adult Day Center, that's what, they gave us help and they gave us hope.
His wife Janet telling us the facility beneficial for both. Chris's memory improving in the 3 months he was there. Janet, his full-time caregiver, able to run errands with peace of mind.
He really fitted into the place and had made friends there, and the staff were just wonderful.
Now they're driving over an hour each way to the Henderson County location. Mountain Care also has a facility in Buncombe County, but Executive Director Elizabeth Williams telling us the future of those locations also uncertain. The reason? Money.
The challenges and revenue loss from the pandemic just really intensified the financial situation that Mountain Care was already in.
First known as Koala, the program was taken over by Mission Health, which was then bought by HCA Healthcare. Williams says HCA dropped adult day services, leaving them financially on the hook.
We had to start paying rent for the Transylvania program, the Henderson program, the Buncombe program, up to $440,000 annually. So a big change in our budget.
17 families getting care here left in limbo, and 2/3 of the staff laid off. Williams hopeful another organization will step in.
Without adult day, folks are not able to age in place. They're not able to age at home. Sons and daughters are not able to work.
The Joneses now grappling with the loss of their newly found independence.
I joined a gym, and that was nice, being able to drop Chris off and just go walk on the treadmill for half an hour. I enjoyed it, but I can't do it now. He's going to lose the socialization and the contact. It's going to be difficult.
According to Williams, adult day facilities like Mountain Care are vital, especially with the way our elderly population is growing.